Deployed an election observation mission for the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections chaired by Mr. Javier Nart, a member of the European Parliament from Spain. The 9-member core team analyzed political, electoral and legal issues relating to the election. 80 observers were deployed in all 16 regions to observe the conduct of the voting and reported to the core team in Accra. The final report is a comprehensive assessment of the electoral process that builds up on the initial findings of the preliminary findings presented shortly after the election. The chief observer, Mr. Javier Nart, said the overall voting of the election was successful. He, however, pointed to the nagging issues of abuse of incumbency and misuse of state resources, vote buying, and unregulated campaign finances, which resulted in an uneven playing field. Mr. Nart said the team also has reservations about the president appointing the EC chair without participation of the political parties.
If you want to present yourself as being neutral, as it has to be in an electoral commission, the process of being nominated by the president in full without consensus from other parts of society, I think is not exactly correct. And what we are saying is that they did a good job, but to be inclusive, you have to be inclusive. And being nominated by the president in full is not inclusive.
The team also proposed 18 recommendations, including improved procedures for counting and collation of results, as well as the publication of detailed results before the deadline for legal contests, an affirmative law to encourage women participation, regulations on campaign financing, and effective sanctioning against the misuse of state resources.
During the election process, a lot of administrative, let me say, action are taken and put in the TV or in the radio. So at that time, you have double time, one for the party and one for the government, when the party and the government are the same. And this is something that has to be addressed as well. But this is not, let me say, something to blame on Ghana. You can blame on many, many nations in the world, including European ones. Public resources has to be for public. But let me say the temptation to understand that public means government, that it is, but during an electoral process, there is something that is quite interesting, that inaugurations take place exactly during election process. Not only in Ghana, everywhere. And so I ask, why the government, let me say by a chance, is inaugurating or it's doing acts that normally doesn't exist the month before or the month after, but just in the month.
The team has earlier presented the findings to the EC. They will also meet with other stakeholders to discuss the recommendations with the view to improving future elections and strengthen the country's democracy.